Hello, thank you everyone for joining. This is our webinar on how to create stepped income requirements through our software of Capitalise, which is used to create bespoke Duxbury calculations. If you have any questions for the duration of the webinar, there is a little Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, so just feel free to pop a question in. We won't be doing a live Q&A, but we will respond to your question once the webinar is finished, just because sometimes with Capitalise queries, they can be very specific, so we want to make sure we can fully assess the question and give you the best response possible. My name is Pippa. I'll be sat here in the background making sure everything technical goes well, and I'll be also responding to any little questions that you might have in the meantime. This session is being recorded, so if you do need to leave partway, a recording will be sent through to all of the registrants by tomorrow afternoon. So without further ado, I'm going to pass you on to Laura to get started with the webinar.
Hello, thank you for attending this webinar. I'm Laura, I'm one of the Capitalise training specialists here at Class Legal. I'm just going to stop my video and start sharing my screen. Okay, so there's several ways that Capitalise can be used to do bespoke Duxbury calculations with a stepped income requirement. And I'm going to start by creating a case. I'll just click back because some of you may not have used Capitalise yet. So you do this by clicking this plus button, and then you enter the information for the person that you're creating the calculation for. And then Capitalise will automatically fill in the state pension age, and then it will give them a life expectancy. So if we click Save Case, if any of these details need changing at any point, do use the pencil icon here to edit them. So now we need to actually build the case, which starts with the parameters for the case. So click this button here, and I'm going to do a very basic step calculation initially. So it'll be 50,000 per annum. And it's really handy if you actually enter a description here that lets you know what the information is that you're going to put into it. Because when you're doing more than one calculation for people, when you get the list, which I'll show you later, it'll help you identify which one's which. So 50,000 per annum for 10 years. And then we're going to drop it by 50% for the remaining years. So this is a conventional calculation. You can change it to a reverse here, which we'll do a reverse later on. And then for the specified duration or life, you actually select that here. So this one's going to be a specified, and it'll be 10 years. And I'm going to leave all the defaults set as they are for this calculation. So we'll click Save Calculation. And then this brings this page up. If you want to change the parameters at any point, this is what we've entered previously, and you can change that by using the pencil icon here. And now you'll come across this page, which has different tabs where you put income requirements, income receipts, capital receipts, and pension receipts. So for this one, we're doing income requirements. So if you click the plus button and then enter the description, which we said was going to be 50,000 per annum. And the period, we're going to do it for the whole of the term, and it applies every 1 year. And then this is where you can actually add in a step. So you can choose to increase or decrease it. So I'm going to decrease by 50% in 5 years' time. And if we click Save Income Requirement, that actually lists everything that we've put in here. And if we click Calculate and then view the detailed results, you'll see that each year, the first year is 50,000, and then it inflates year on year until you get to year 6, where it has reduced by 50%. And that's obviously the inflated amount. Okay, so now I'll build a more complicated calculation. So if we click back to the person's name, And this is the description of the previous one that we've actually produced. So if we click the plus button here, and then I'll start creating the parameters again for a new calculation. So for this one, I'm going to do 50,000 per annum to 60 years of age. And I'm going to drop it to 30,000 for the remaining term. It's going to be a conventional calculation, and for this one I'm going to do it as a life calculation, so we would select that there. I'll keep all the defaults set as they are, and then click Save Calculation. So for this one I'm actually going to build up several income requirements separately. So if we click the plus button, and I'll start with the 50,000 per annum. And then for the period, I'm going to use the between function. I prefer to use the between ages, but you could use years if you wished. So from the ages of 43 to 60. And then click Save Income Requirement, and then that's listed here. And then we're going to build the next step. So if you click the plus button here, and I'm going to do 30,000 for the remaining term. So I'm going to use the between function again, and I'm going to do it from the age of 61 to 87. Now, Capitalise works in whole years, so if you actually put from the age of 60 again there, because the previous 50,000 was also included at the age of 60, it would actually give them both the amounts in that particular year. So just make sure you don't have any overlap. And if I click Save Income Requirement, and then that's going to be listed here as well. So I'm just going to put another step in. So I'm going to have a car for 30,000, and I'm going to use the in function for this one, and I'm going to have it at the age of 50. If I click Save Income Requirement there, and then that lists all of the income requirements that we've entered. You can do the same with the income receipts, capital receipts, and pension receipts as well. So if we click Calculate and then view the detailed results. So you'll see the income requirement here, and it's inflating each year. And I just need to scroll up a little bit. And then at the age of 50, that's got the car included within that calculation. And then when we get to the age of 61, that's where the drop has occurred in the income. Another great thing that Capitalise can do is it can do reverse calculations. So if we go back to the person's name, and then we'll set up a new calculation as a reverse. So if we click the plus button, so I'm going to do a reverse calculation for 900,000. So if you select the reverse calculation there, and you actually enter the sum on this page, and then select the specified duration, which will be life, and I'll leave the defaults as they are. And because we've actually entered the amount on the previous page, and Capitalise is now going to actually work out what income requirement that will give them, you don't actually enter anything within this part of the program, but you can actually add a step in. So if we click Enter Stepped Income Requirement, and for this one, we'll do a set income requirement for a given period. So from the ages of 43 to 60, I want the income requirement to be 50,000. So if we select Save Step, and that step will actually be listed here. So you can actually view at any point what has been entered into the program. And if we click Calculate and then view the detailed results. Now this report looks a little bit different to the other report because it's working the income requirement out. So it actually features down here. So you'll get the income requirement, with the inflation. Here, and then that's the step down that we've entered into the program. Okay, so now I'll just go back and show you some of the other steps that can be used within the reverse calculation. So if we go back here and click the edit stepped requirement, you can actually set an absolute increase and decrease in income requirement, which would be the amount. So if you wanted it to increase between the ages of 43 and 60 by 25,000, you would then enter that in here. So click Save Step, click Calculate. That will do that for you. So here's the income requirement. And obviously each year has inflation added onto it. Okay, so I'll just go back and show you the other types of steps that can be added in. So edit stepped income requirement. And then we can do specify percentage increase and decrease. So if we want it to decrease, increase by 50%, or in this case, I'll do a decrease from the ages of 60 to 87. Click Save Step. Then if we view the calculation here, and then view the detailed results, that will then work that out again. So obviously here's the income requirement, and the step will come in at the age of 60. Just let me scroll up a little bit. I've scrolled down a little bit too far, so I can't see the ages. So there's the step there. The other great thing that you can do with Capitalise is we can actually copy. So if you only wanted to make some slight changes to the program, you can actually do that by copying the case. So we click duplicate here, and then that will come up at the bottom as a copy. And if you wanted to edit any of the parameters, you can do so using that icon there. And if you want to change any of the income requirements, for example, you don't want there to be an inflation increase during the receipt, you can actually change that here and actually remove it if you wished. So if we do that and then view the detailed results, there's no inflation included in the report. And if you go back to here, you can actually view all your calculations, and the calculation results are here. Okay, so I'm just going to share my video with you. Okay, so that's everything on stepped income requirements for today. If you want to book any demos in with me, you can. My email address is laura.m@classlegal.com. And I'll just hand you back to Pippa.
Thank you very much. That was ever so good. I'm learning lots of things about the stepped income requirements. We have had quite a few questions come through, so we will look at these after this webinar and we will respond to you via email. Thank you very much for attending. We hope it was very insightful for you. As I mentioned earlier, this webinar has been recorded and I will be sending out an email with the recording to all registrants, and you should get that by tomorrow afternoon. I know it's a little bit shorter than advertised, but we'd rather keep you not as long than run over. So without going any more, we hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and thank you very much.